All right, friends and family of Rolly, thank you guys for coming out. Thank you for supporting the family. The support on Facebook, on text, phone calls, it's been amazing. Rolly was truly a wonderful man. Those of you that know him from softball, we're definitely going to miss his laugh, his hugs. This opportunity here, this ceremony here is for anybody to speak on his behalf, or any stories that you want to share that you had with him, the moment that you interacted with him, and he made his impression on you, because he made that on a lot of people. Actually, I'm gonna get his brother, his bigger brother, Gabe Adame. Also known as Road Brother, Gorilla.
Hello, everybody. Thank you, Bubba. I don't know if this is built for both of us at the same time. You stay on that side, I'm gonna stay on this side. But there's family that we're born into, you know, and that's us. And there's family that you choose, and that would be you guys. So, like the church ceremony, that was for us to say goodbye, but this is where he wanted to be. As part of his final wishes, half of it we'll talk about, the other half we might talk about, but half of his wishes were to be spread across the softball field, because this is where he wants to stay forever. And he made those wishes, what was it, Friday before Monty's wedding. He let his daughter know that this is where he wanted to be. Now, if anybody knows my brother, they would know that the other half of him wants to be put into a marijuana plant and smoked. And we will honor all his wishes. So, thank you guys. Thank you guys. The support has been amazing. The support for myself and my sister and his kids and my mom, my dad. I mean, it's a true testament to who my brother is. You know, it's hard to say was, because it's just so surreal still that that we don't get to see him every week or every day, or read his posts on Facebook every morning. I'm gonna miss him. I already miss him. Me and my brother, we don't do the same things. Our hobbies are extremely different. I ride motorcycles. He hits softballs. But I used to tell him, I'm like, Rolly, you know your number is ooh, right? Like, he's like, it's 0-0. I'm like, no, it's ooh. And it was funny because when Noah first saw the shirt, he's like, the shirt says dude. Like, I told you, Rolly. But thank you guys in the softball community, his friends. You guys were his family. Thank you guys for everything that you've done, the donations, the support. It all means a lot to us. And I'm sure he will be haunting this field from now on. So if ever you guys want to find him, go turn off the lights in the bathroom, say 0-0 3 times in the mirror, and I'm sure you will smell marijuana. But man, he was such a big life. He was so big in personality. You know, I'm gonna miss all his hang looses. I don't know if you guys know, but his dream was to be Hawaiian or Samoan. And I think he was really upset that he wasn't. He even went to Hawaii and tried to just stay. But thank you guys. Thank you guys for whatever you guys have to say. This is your guys' time to talk about my brother. I would love to hear your guys' stories, because I mean, we have all our own stories. And if we don't share them with each other, then those stories will go away. And as long as we keep talking about them and sharing about them and posting about them, man, I thought it would be a good idea when he was sick that if somebody would post their profile pictures of my brother, I thought, man, that would be awesome to show support, and it was awesome. But there was a time in this whole ordeal, I'm like, man, he's everywhere I look. He's on every news feed. He's tagged in every single post. Like, leave me alone, I'm trying to mourn. But it's the way he would want it. My brother, I'm gonna tell you one story, and this is one of my favorite stories when we were kids. When we were kids, my brother was very conceited. He loved the way he looked. Oli was there. And him and Oli would break into empty houses that were for sale, and they would steal the mirrors because its statute of limitations is expired. Oli, you're gonna be fined. But yeah, Speedy, where's Speedy? We're just kidding. We're just kidding. But he would break into houses where nobody lived, and he would steal the mirrors in this elaborate plan to make a room full of walled mirrors. He want wall-to-wall mirrors. And him and Oli would sit in front of those mirrors for hours and flex. And they would say, I'm so beautiful. I'm so sexy. I'm so beautiful. I mean, you think I'm exaggerating. I'm really not. He would lift dumbbells. I saw Julian had dumbbells in his room, and it reminded me of Rolly, because he would try to do the titty dance. But like I said, that's my Rolly story. I wish, is Boonier here? Because one time when we were going for these mirrors, one time he saw a shelf he liked, and so at 4 o'clock in the morning we're running down the street with a full-length bookshelf that was a corner shelf because he wanted it. My brother lived his life in a way that he pretty much did whatever he wanted. He wanted to have his own softball team. There's 10 of them right here. We're going to do babies, mamas as base coaches. So if there's any more we don't know about, please come forward. Thank you, guys.
If there's anybody that wants to first come up, actually, let's go ahead and let Greg Navarez talk. Speedy, otherwise known as Speedy. Everybody knows him as Speedy. Speedy was his first real coach on the Broncos, the Bronx. Cougars. Cougars.
Cougs.
All right, my name is Greg Navarez. I'm gonna try to speak up. I have a real loud voice. I'm gonna do my best. For those of you, most people call me Speedy. I had the honor of coaching Rolando when he was 12, along with Ron. Along with Rolando, I also coached Gabe, his little brother.
Not very well.
The two gave me such a hard time. It was awesome. But I prepared a little writing just in case I forgot. So I'm kind of go back on my notes. But Rolly was like my little brother, same age as my brother. They were in the same 6th grade class. I got to know him fairly well because of that. We hung out. He was always at my house. And then when I got a chance to coach him, I spent a lot of time with him. And we butted heads quite a bit, just like him and Gabe. Tell him to take a lap, he wouldn't take it. Threatened to bench him. He shrugged his shoulders because he thought, well, I'm the best guy on the team. They're not going to play without me. Well, very first game, he comes to me and says, Coach, I'm going to bean this kid. He was my star pitcher, and he said, I'm going to bean this guy. I go, why are you going to bean him? He goes, well, we got in a fight at school, and I'm going to bean him. And I said, Rolly, you're not going to beat him. He goes, yeah, I am. Well, about 4 batters later, here he comes. And Rolly looks at me, and got his ball in his mitt. He's smiling at me, and I go, "You better not." Boom, he beans the guy. Call timeout, go out there, give me the ball, go sit down. And we play the game, and Gabe and the rest of the fellas, Jimmy, Anthony, they win the game. And Rolly realized at that point, wow, these guys did it without me. And the reason that's significant is because the year before, they were winless. And now, these guys are winning without him. And I earned his respect at that point, because from that point on, he was my big gun. I mean, I'd tell the kids to run, and Rolly was, "Let's go, we're running, coach said run." And there he goes, leading the team. He was always my team leader. Coach Dillon was going to be here. He gave me a story that his boy Matt was at school and he was being picked on. And Rolly approached these kids and said, "Hey, you leave this guy alone. He's my coach's son. Leave him alone." And that made a big impact on him as well. That's the kind of person that Rolly was. He was always a team leader. He was always sticking up for people, always showing love. Over the years, Rolly spent a lot of time, like I said, and he was always pranking me. And I'm going to share a little story. I hope I don't upset anybody, but he was about 14 or 15 years old, and he'd come over and play basketball. And I was a fantastic basketball player back in the day, and we beat him, and he was really upset with me. So him and another guy, Boonier, decided they're going to egg my house. So I catch wind that they're going to do this, and so I get a couple of my buddies who are with the police department to kind of hover around and try to play a prank back on them. So here they come, and they egg my shed, and they write, all these inappropriate things on my shed. And so then, the officers contact them down the street, and they scare them. And they call me and say, "Hey, we got those guys, and we scared them." The next day I find out that, man, cops almost had us, and blah, blah, blah. And I said, "I got you guys back." And it's pranks back and forth. The reason I mention that is because the Saturday when we got the news that he wasn't doing so well, I was trying to celebrate my daughter's graduation, which was really, really tough for me because Rolly was so close to me. And here I am trying to be happy for my daughter's graduation, and I couldn't. I mean, I'm in pictures, and I'm just hurting. And look, what happens is, as we're sitting there taking family pictures, a bird craps on my chest. So I got frame by frame, looking. And the first thing I thought of is, "Rolly, you turkey." Because Rolly liked those birds. And I'm thinking, okay, he's dogging me again, And that's what I thought. I didn't know what else to think. That's Rolly messing with me, I'm sure. And everybody turned and started laughing at me, and I got pictures to prove it. Rolly wouldn't want us to be sad. And that's what I keep trying to talk to everybody that's close and is having a hard time, is he's looking down right now and saying, "Hey, don't be sad, be happy. I'm in a better place." And I don't like to just talk about it and say he's not with us, or he is here, he's with us. And he's going to be, every time I step on his field to umpire and to see his brothers, he's here with us. I can feel it. And so, when I'm here, there's a lot of people that sometimes get angry at me because I'm an umpire and I always make the right call. But sometimes people don't see it that way, and I get, threatening looks and attitudes. But Rolly was never about letting that happen. He was always protecting me, always letting it be known. Bubba and Israel, the rest of the guys, always protecting me, and I feel like I'm at home here. These guys are awesome. And that's just Rolly's way of showing the other guys how to love and how to respect people. And that's, all these years that I coached him and was around him when umpiring and all that, he was actually teaching me. And that's something that I'll always be grateful to him. I knew that coaching him, I didn't coach him to be the player he was. He already came from a great family. He had skills, a very, very loving family. And I'm just honored that I was able to be a part of that. And thank you, Lopez and Adame family.
I don't mean to call anybody out, but I'd like to hear some words from either George Moreno or Rick Gomez. Rick had the pleasure of playing with Rolly as well. We had a discussion, me and Rolly, and like Speedy said, we benched him for a year. He didn't like that.
You know, it's funny, I was just thinking about that year. It was 2011, I believe. And I was in California when I heard the news, and I felt like I needed to come and see him just because of that 1 year. I didn't know him real well. He's always a nice guy, always give you a hug when he sees you. But that year, when my teammate Thomas called me up and said, "Hey, Rolly wants to play with us. What do you think?" I'm like, "Really? What's going on with the dog?" Anyway, that was my first year coaching, and Larry was a coach before, the year before. And I called Larry. I'm like, "Hey, Larry, what do you think about Rolly playing on our team?" He's like, "You know what? You better get him on your team if you have a chance." I'm like, "All right." So he comes, and right off the bat, man, he's just that guy you're drawn to just because of who he is. I mean, he was at every practice, anytime. You know, we said what time to be there. He's one of those guys that are on time, and Bubba knows how I hate those guys that don't come to practice not on time. He was just a great example. We had a good year that year. His laugh was awesome, and he was just always so positive. And I'll never forget, you know, everybody's on Facebook with him, the posts that he puts out there. I mean, you read them every day because they're from Rolly. And if you were having a bad day, there you go. You read something good, and puts a smile on your face. Sometimes makes you think, sometimes makes you laugh. That's who he is, and that's who I'll remember. You know what? I love that guy, and I'm glad Bubba called me out. I love all you guys. We're a softball family, and I hope this brings us together more, and I hope we grow as a family. I can't believe it. Looking at all these people, Rolly would be happy. Thanks.
Well, I'll try to make it through this. My story. First week in high school, was going to the gymnasium, was going to walk in the locker room. A senior came around the corner, said I couldn't walk in there. Told him bullshit, I'm going in. Told me no. I tried to get by him, pushed me away. About ready to take a pounding, and Rolly walked in. Immediately stepped in front of him and told him to back off. Didn't listen, so Rolly gave him a headbutt. The guy was bigger than Rolly too, and he handled his business, and he's always looking out for everybody, so that I'm sure not the only guy he did that for. And I'm just honored to have known him. That's my story.
George.
Those of you guys that know, Rolly did have 10 kids. I just really want to introduce you to these kids because they're amazing. Are all you guys here?
Not Alex, Toa, or Drew.
Okay, so the little ones are not here.
Except for Elijah.
Except Elijah. Elijah Life.
Yep. Woo!
Will you guys stand up and and when I call your names, just so everybody can see what Rolly has left us. Blessings. Julian, Rolando, congratulations on graduating, you know. Anthony, Jesse. Anthony, Jacob. Marivel. Done again. Recently done again. Sandra. And Elijah, life. Elijah, stand up, buddy. He also has 3 other kids, True, Koa, and Elijah.
And Angel.
Sorry, I heard you said Elijah.
Angel and Alex.
Angel, Alex,
Okay, we're missing Angel,
Angel,
Alex,
Alex,
True.
True, and Koa. Got it. There's 4 missing.
There's a lot of them.
Yeah. If there's anybody else that would like to say something without me having to call them out, that'd be great, because I do have some names in mind. Perfect.
I don't have very many Rolly stories to tell. We were all family there in the 2000s, and then they made the family team after that. And there in 2000, I got asked to play on the NSA championship team. That was such a blessing on that one. He was the MVP for that tournament. I remember a lot of hits up the middle on that one. I think he only got out like 3 times. We'll have to check the book on that one, Sandy. That's why you got the MVP on that one. But that's why he was a catcher. You always come up to home plate and get those hugs. You're gonna hear lots of hug comments probably today, but he was a hugger. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dylan.
You guys hear me loud and clear? All right. Now I go back to, some of you here know, some of you went to school with me. I go clear back to 1988 with Rolando. And I vaguely remember meeting his sister a time or two back in 1986. It was the time I first came to town. Those of you who don't know, I'm from Lewiston, Idaho. Moved here when I was 9.5 years old. Started off, you know, his long history. I'll tell you about that later. It's another story. But when I hit junior high, I was way different from other kids, you know, and I kind of had a hot temper. So as another guy was saying, you know, a story about going into the locker room. That scenarios like that happened to me many times. Rolando spent the 7th grade with me backing bullies off and keeping me out of trouble. You know, even one, you know, I don't know that Rolando necessarily liked fights, even if he got into them. Because I remember one time I think it's just the fact that, you know, he knew that 8th grade year my mom worked at the school. I'm not going to mention what happened or what the kid did. I try not to bring negative stuff from the past, but I was going to clock the kid. And right when my fist went, Rolando grabbed it right there and put it down and said, "Corey, don't. It's not worth getting in trouble over." You know, he always had a straight head on his shoulders. But he never forgot me after I may have gone over to visit the Adames a couple times in the 9th grade. I don't remember. I vaguely remember things happening then. In the 9th grade, I went so many places, did so many things, you know, that my memory's kind of clouded from back in that day. I make a long story short, I left for high school, but I never forgot the guy. I was down in Utah for 3 years. I came back in '94, and I reconnected with this guy at Premier Building Maintenance. We were janitors cleaning the buildings after they closed. It's a nighttime maintenance type thing. He kind of saw me through that year. I won't talk too much about it. It was kind of a bad year, but off and on I saw Rolando, and he always had a smile. He always say, "Hey, Corey, my brother, give me a hug," you know. Even when I saw him in Walmart, he indirectly saw me through the last decade, which I had a crash in 2000, a mental health crash, and stopped working. He would always stop. Him and Andy and Gabe all would stop and talk to me, make sure I was okay. Because, you know, I kind of was out there all by myself, had a wanderlust, as another guy said, and he was just, you know, I talked to Gabe earlier in the week, and he said to me, you know, Rolando loved you, Corey. Rolando always had a special place in his heart. And I said, yeah, I believe that, you know, and I'll never forget that Rolando accepted me for who I was, what I was, when nobody else would. You know, there at times, Rolando always, you know, in spite of any faults and shortcomings I had, he always saw the good in me for who I was as a person. This last week, I held my housewarming barbecue, and I went ahead and did it anyway, even though it was a day after he passed. And I knew he wouldn't have wanted that. He would have only wanted me to do that. I mentioned a few of the family members that if things had gone the other way around and I'd been able to talk to him and him talk to me from the hospital, he would have told me, Corey, you go ahead and put that on. You go ahead and put on your cookout without me, and you just think of me and keep me in your prayers while you're cooking up your feast there in that backyard. Which I kept him in my thoughts and memories while I was cooking. You know, I was really sad, and I had company, but as I cooked up all those ribs, burgers, and brats and served everybody was going through my food line in the backyard. You know, I knew Rolando was looking down, smiling, saying, "That's my friend Corey, cooking up a feast there." And I could almost hear him say, "I love it, Corey." You know, I mean, I know ordinarily he'd love to be there in person, but like they said, he's in a better place. And I'm sure the food there is way better. Anyway, I will never forget this guy. I mean, I work at Walmart, and I'm right there in the public light where everybody can see me. You know, I push carts outside, but sometimes I help customers, and I'd walk right past him, and even when I was on the clock, "Hey, Corey, how you doing, my friend? Give me a hug," you know. And that's Rolando. I give him a hug and I say, "Hey, I'd love to chat with you, but I got to get back out there and continue working." "That's okay. We'll talk some other time. You take care, brother." You know, he never. That was always his greeting, and that anytime I go through Walmart, I'll always remember that about him. Anyway.
Special guest speaker.
Not really.
Whoa.
You're okay, you're okay.
Just so I want you guys to know that when my brother was in the hospital, we had this experience. His kids, unanimously, his adult kids, decided to donate his organs. And I want you guys to just know that my brother went on giving a gift of his kidneys, his liver, his corneas, saving lives and helping with research and skin graft for burn victims. And it was a unanimous decision by my nieces and nephews. And it was, to me, it was amazing, because I know that my brother would want to keep on giving, because obviously that's who he was. And in that time, I was telling Gabe, I mean, my brother's not subtle. So if you guys see signs, he's putting it in your face, because that's his way. So just even in that moment where we get this awful news, that morning, I walk into the hospital, and I was thinking of him, and I thought, you know, I'm going to buy this lady a coffee because she didn't have any cash to buy her coffee, thinking of my brother at that moment. And then as we walk into that room, there's the lady sitting there. Out of everybody in the hospital, there she is. And it was just, for me, it was like a knowing that he knew that we're going to need this, you know. And then as they give us an hour, even more obvious, the kids, they say, well, come back and sign the papers in 30 minutes. And somebody asked for an hour, and the guy looks at the clock. He's like, all right, we'll see y'all back here at about 4:20. And we're like, if that's not Rolly, right? Anyway, that's my story. But if you guys like the bird poop, I believe it.
Hawaiian shorts. Those are Rolly shorts.
I'm Wayne Fields. In case you don't know me, I'm the business son in the back. I knew Rolly for a while, but these past 4 months I got to know him even more than I did when I was a kid. They're really cherishable. They were really cherishable these last 4 months that I got to bond with him, and the words of wisdom that he instilled in me will always be kept with me. They'll never leave my heart. They'll never leave the train of thought of my mind. No, I'll always remember Rolly for that. And he's just been a good father figure to me, because he knows how to like keep a warm heart ready for you, and those hugs will just never be forgotten. Trust me. And I just love the fact that he was a good man. He had a good soul, and I'm glad that he's somewhere good. Thank you.
Anybody else that would voluntarily like to speak?
I think Julian wants to talk.
Julian?
No pressure, Julian.
Why don't we start a line over here on the left side? Yeah.
Hello, everybody. Am I loud? I'm going to try real hard to talk, okay? But Rolly was not my nephew. He was my son. And I have many stories about him, but I'm not going to go that far. And secrets, but I'm not going to go that far. Me and Rolly went through a lot of stuff together. And he always called me his second mom. And I always told him he was my first child. I bought him a tricycle, and I got in trouble because the other kids only got little dolls. But Rolly was, and still is, very special to me. We would laugh and talk, and he sent me roses every day on my phone, and I'm really gonna miss that. I'm trying to be real strong, because I know that's the way he wants me to be. He never liked me to be sad or cry, and I promised that I would try real hard to hold myself together. I don't know what I will do without him in my life, because he was always there. We were always together at the ballpark and get-togethers and stuff like that. I will hold all his memories with me, but I'll never be the same. And I don't know if it'll take me months, years. He was my son. I was his second mom. He told me one day that he loved me with all his heart, and I already knew that because he told me every day I would see him. It didn't matter if it was days or months or hours. He always would say, Aunt Sandy, and I was like, what? I love you. I go, I know that. I love you too. But I just hope that he is happy, and I hope that he gives me a sign that everything's going to be okay. Tell me to come back to the ballpark. Tell me to go back to our volleyball team. But I'm not sure what will happen because, like I say, he was a very, very big part of my life. Those people that knew me and that knew him, I just will hold him very close to my heart. And I hope that he's happy. He's an angel. I always look up in the sky in the morning for the last 10 days just to see something, give me a sign, tell me it's okay. And I think I did one day. I saw a bird fly over my head. I thought it was him, but hoping maybe that was the sign that I needed. I will miss him with all my heart, and I will try to go on with my children, my sons, my grandkids, my family, and all you beautiful people. And with all the support that you guys have showed, I think that it might happen. I love him so much, and I'm still in shock. But like I said, with all the love and support you guys have showed, it just makes it a little bit easier for me. And I wanted to thank you for that.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm Julian. I'm Rolly's son.
You're as mini me.
I'm as mini me, as a lot of people say. I don't really know what to say other than this is awesome that all of you guys came out here and that he touched everybody's lives that's here, because there's a reason that you're here. And it's really awesome that one person had so many moments with so many people. And I think he'd really appreciate this. So, thanks.
I think on behalf of Tony Mora, the Guzzlers, we started out in 75, 72 as a softball team, and I've seen Facebook pictures of the family, the Desert Dogs. And then that's what we were back in 72. Tony with his brother. What? Okay. And so his brother also wore 00. He passed a few months ago also. And so we feel sad for you guys because we were also a family team, big time. And we played hard, just like you guys. We battled, we lost, we won, but we had good time.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention that every year the Desert Dogs come down and real competitive teams, just like Rolando is. Really, he would show up and walk up to the field on a Saturday morning, and sure enough, he had a big, bright smile. You know, he loved the game of softball. He loved the competition. His family team, his brothers, these guys would come every year with the same, pretty much the same team, and compete with teams that showed up with, you know, added players, select players, and these guys stuck together, and they would be in the championship, win the championship, and these guys are tough ball players. And that was, Rolly loved the game of softball. I mean, that's his love, and that's, you know, why we came up here to represent the family. We love the game of softball, and I wanted to make sure and just tell them that that's what I put on that the Desert Dog sign. We love you, you know, the Guzzlers, came down here to show respect for him because he's a good man, and we do love him. So just wanted to say that. Thank you.
This is a How I Met Your Mother story for my son. Yes. I just want to tell you, when I met your dad, I was very quiet, shy. I was in band. I carried a trombone. I don't know, he must have thought it was hot. I don't know. I have a couple of friends that were the go-betweens, and a few of them are here today. You know, they're very supportive. They still love your dad. Everyone loves your dad. Your dad and I did practically whatever it took to be able to see each other, because you know Grandma and Grandpa. Yeah, so he would go to my church dances. You know, he would meet me wherever. We went to quinceañeras. I got drug out of a few of those by your grandpa. Next thing you know, there was a ladder that mysteriously kept appearing outside my bedroom window. And Grandma and Grandpa couldn't figure out why or what it was doing there. It never occurred to them that I was sneaking out. And next thing you know, we were expecting you. So, and like was said earlier, shortly after followed your brother. So they would pick you up, both of you at the same time, dress you in cute little outfits. You kind of looked like twins at one point. So anyway, that's my story of how I met your dad, and we love you. I love you very much. Okay.
Anybody else that would like to talk? Cousin Cheney, also known as Bean Dog.
Well, my name is Cheney, Patsy's son. I worked real young, and Dave used to pick on me all the time. And Cousin Rolly used to tell me, doesn't matter how big you are, it's how much heart you have. One day we were playing in Quincy, and Bob and those guys, they have a kid named Frankie Mora. He thought he was big and tough. I was young, and Rolly says, probably like 3 years ago when we played him, he goes, I want to hit a home run. We had 2 outs. And he goes, you're going to tie the game and we're going to win. He says, I believe in you, and no one has a bigger heart than you, so we're going to do it. He always encouraged me. Didn't matter where you came from, didn't matter who you are. It's all about one love. We ended up winning. Frankie got pissed. Says, I'm coming back next year. And I told him, I'm not a little kid no more. I could beat you by myself. And we beat him the next year. But he always encouraged me to just be just one love. Love you guys. Love you, Mom.
Kyle Swanson, Swan Man.
Hello, everybody. I'm going to tell a hugging story. I know everybody's got them about Roll, so it's another one. I don't know if you know right now, but I started playing softball a long time ago. The years passed. I don't even remember how long it's been, but I was a little rec player, mercenary, just played on random teams, and Bubba saw something in me, so he kept trying to make me come play with the Dogs, and I always felt like I wasn't ready, but he thought I was. And then also, I don't know if anybody knows my dad, but my dad is Warren Swanson. He runs the juvenile center in Ephrata. We won't. Anyway, this may not come off right, but he always used to talk to me and said, okay, well, the Dogs want you to come play. Well, you know I know their names, and I know who they are. And I won't go into the transgressions or anything like that, but he made me scared of people, these guys. And, I mean, look at them, so they're scary. Anyway, but when Bubba finally convinced me to come over and play, I came over, and the biggest, scariest looking one of them gave me the biggest bear hug ever. And from then on, I was family. And then it seemed like every year, those bear hugs kept getting stronger and stronger. Like it was, I don't know, it felt like this year was especially strong. And, you know, looking back, I knew I took all those for granted. But this year felt like it was building up to something. I don't know what that is, but I'm just happy to know Rolly, and he will be missed.
Any of you guys want to talk? I'm sure you guys know who my brother is. He's the more talented one. Also the second heart of this team.
Dancer, baby. Baby.
Well, if you've seen Rolly playing any sports, you probably know I was right by him. I was his sidekick. Rolly pretty much trained me from when I was 12. He'd hit me hard ground balls and everybody. He would, I mean, this is in volleyball too. He'd sit there and make me dig, and he'd spike at me for hours. And I'd say, hey, my hands hurt. He goes, you're going to be better. You're going to be better. Don't worry. So we're, well, 20 years. We played softball and volleyball together. I scared your heart about him, but hey, nobody wants me to do. I'll take care of this team. Thank you.
Like my brother said, Israel had the pleasure of playing with him for 20 years. I played with him for 16 years. We see him every other weekend, twice a week during the league. It will never be the same. Somebody asked me the other day what one love means, and in short, one love is Rolly. Everything that he did, everything that he was, everything that he is, Rolly is one love. This team is one love. This team, we accept people as family. We push each other hard. Yes, we practice softball, trying to be the best people we can. I've always believed in competition. You truly see the good and the bad in everybody. You see the real person. And we've been honored to play with Rolly for the last 20 years we've been playing. There's nobody else I'd rather step on the field with than my dogs, his dogs. Like Israel said, we'll take care of this team. We'll keep going. I finally got my first tattoo. And yes, it did hurt. When I was trying to decide where to get it, I wanted to make sure that I could see it every day. But but I also want to make sure that Rolly's in our huddles. It's always 1, 2, 3 dogs. Dogs on 3. And physically, he's not there, but he will be. He's there. He's with us. I swear every picture, every group picture we take, he's in the middle. And all you see is his face. If there's nobody else I would like to talk, we're probably going to conclude the ceremony here, and we're going to release some balloons. We had some more that want to talk. Perfect. I don't want to go home yet.
Hello, can anybody hear me? My name is Santos Gonzalez. I grew up with the Adame family over here at the Westlake Park, and they're awesome. They're awesome people to be around with. I took off the day off work today to come to this memorial, and I don't know if I sound good or bad, but I'm not bad, I'm not good, I'm not perfect like I was here at church. But it's a blessing to have all you people here for Rolly. I was at a job site just down the road from here, probably around 2.5 miles from here, when I ran into Rolly. I was working for Mike, the China Buffet owner. I was tearing down a house inside, and I was really frustrated. And I didn't want to take a break like usual. They tell me to go home, work's over, and I don't want to go home. You know, I live by myself, I'm a single parent, and I always think there's always work to be done, like my dad used to tell me. There's work to be done every day. We have to feed the family, and we have to get this work done. I have to make some money. I was the youngest out of five brothers, and Rolly was across the road from me, and I was going to take a break, and I got frustrated with myself, so I went back to work. And I was working by myself inside this house, and the reason I was working there is because I like to talk. My boss told me, you talk too much, so I got a perfect job for you. He put me to work right across the road from where he lives. Not that he wanted to see how I work, because he already knew I was a hard worker. And I was tearing down some sheetrock, and I decided, well, I better go take some fresh air. So I went out of this house, and I seen this big truck pulled up across the road from where I was working. And trying to make the point shorter than what it is, I make stories long, I make them short, and I get confused, and I get mixed up, and I get frustrated telling the stories because I can't get to the point. Everybody tells me, shut up, you talk too much. You know? But I seen that big Mayflower truck pull up, and I finally went and got my nose out of the house and went across the road to see who was driving that big fancy truck. I was looking for work, and it was Rolly. He told me that they were doing some hiring for Mayflower, and I just wanted to know who was driving the truck. Was just Rolly and another friend named Pete that was a helper of his. They were unloading a big refrigerator and a stove for the people that they're delivering it to. And so I kind of was hesitating to go see who the person that was driving the big green truck that said Mayflower. And I go, well, I better just mind my own business. That dude is pretty damn big, you know. He's going to say, it's none of your damn business. Go inside the house that you came out of. But I go, well, I'll challenge, like usually I challenge the biggest guys out, wherever, fighting, wherever. I used to protect the kids from school that didn't know how to fight. And not that I'm that big. I haven't even grown that much. My nephew's a lot bigger than me. But, like, I take on the world, you know, and I knew I had Rolly for a backup. I knew where I could find a big guy that drove a big green truck that said Mayflower. So how hard is that to find, you know? And I didn't know Rolly that well. I knew his family. I knew the Adame family. And I knew Harvey, and I knew Roland, and I know the girls, and, you know, they took me in like a little brother. And it's been years that I've been around the Adame family. And there's somebody who cut me off here, young lady. And anyways, I better cut myself short because she's bigger than me. And anyways, I just want to say thank God that you ladies made it, that you people made it, because I'm always in a run or in a rush because I work for Uncle Jesse out in the fields, and I don't go to sleep till like 3 o'clock in the morning or get up at 3, and my brain just rolls around like a ball. God bless. Thank you, all the baseball players. I didn't even know he had a baseball team. God bless.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So my name is Leslie, and for those of you that don't know me, I'm Rachel's best friend since 4th grade. I was her friend when she didn't have any friends, when she came to my school, and I was so lucky to get to know her. Not only was I blessed to know her, but I got to know the Adame family. And the Adame family, they're amazing. And Rolly was amazing. Yes, he had kids before we got in high school. Yeah, I mean, you know what? You guys are blessed. I mean, Rolly was an amazing guy. And he's always been awesome. And so I moved to Wenatchee about 15 years ago, and of course, my husband plays softball. So I got this team that would come to Wenatchee, and they would be playing against my husband. Well, what team do I take, right? I take, well, I mean, yeah, whatever. But of course, I would always be like, Rolly, hi, oh my God, go Moses Lake. Oh yes, go Wally's, my husband's team. You know what, I love softball. I love the thrill of it. I love the drinking of it. I love it all. But most of all, I love Rolando, and he's amazing. And my last chit chat with Rolly, we were there just arm in arm, just talking about life and our children. And I have a daughter in college, and he had a daughter getting married, and he had a little boy that was barely born, and I had a little girl that was almost going to be 4, and you know, we just had like the nicest talk. And I have always loved Rolly. You know what? Through his bad times and his good times, I've seen a lot. Me and Rachel, we go far back. You know, a lot of the Adames, there's April, there's Rachel, there's so many. There's Sandy, and I love Sandy with all my heart. And but I have to say that I also work at the hospital, and I'm very blessed to be able to be there every day when Rolly was there. And the love and the support that this family had, and they came together, man, like, I took annoying balloons and I took annoying animals that sang annoying songs. The little bear, I know you guys know what I'm talking about. But you know what the most annoying part is where's Gabe? Because you know what, Gabe? You have to be nice, and you have to hug me every time I see you. Because Rolly says, oops, I know you can all hear me. Anyways, I just want to say that I'm happy to be part of the Adame friend and family, and you know what? I know that I'm going to see Rolly again, because he's with me all the time. He's there, and he's going to be, and there's nothing that can take Rolly's place. He's an amazing guy, an amazing dad, an amazing friend. And you know what? The support and the love that he has is truly amazing. And you know what? I feel stupid for getting up here and talking, but you know what? If I didn't, I would be so mad. So you know what? Cheers to Rolly. Drink up. One love, one love.
For those of you who don't know me, my name is Britton, and I probably shouldn't have a microphone at any time. But we grew up in Knowles Vista, and we're actually missing one of the 3 minions, Joel Rodriguez. And we hung out with at the same house as Anthony Mejia, and Rolly would constantly come over. And when we heard his name, you know, hey, you hear Rolly's over at Joel's house? He was like a celebrity, you know. So we would go over there, and pretty soon they started to get the idea that they couldn't get rid of us, you know. And we were gonna follow around the cool older kids for as long as possible. So they started beating us at sports, beating us at boxing, making us box each other, which was probably pretty entertaining. But you know, it toughened us up. You know, it really did toughen us up. And just growing up, he was like a big brother, you know, and he kind of made me get used to, you know, losing, but in a good way, you know. He beat us at everything. We would be 5, 6 years old, this tall, and go up to shoot a three-pointer at Nose Vista, and he would just no sympathy at all. Like, you're a man on this court. You know, I don't care if you're 6. You know. So, yeah, you know, I'll miss him. I'll miss him a lot. And I actually saw him about a month ago. He was backing up a Mayflower truck. And I pulled over and I got out and I was like, hey man, what's up? And he just saw me and he dropped his clipboard right on the ground. You know, he's sitting there backing up a truck. He tells the truck to stop. He drops the clipboard and I get one of those hugs, you know. I haven't seen him for, you know, 4 or 5 years. So I'm glad I had that moment. So thank you.
My name is Jeremiah, and I don't know exactly what to say other than he's a positive force. He's one of the strongest, most positive men I've ever met in my life. He's the reason that I am who I am today. And you know, I don't say that about anybody. I can't even say that about my own father, unfortunately. Rolly was more than a brother to me, and he's not even, you know, related by blood, which says a lot. He's the most caring, charismatic, just, yeah, like Brandon said, you know, he toughened us up. He was rough, he was mean, you know, he was crazy, but it was all in good intentions. There was always a positive heart behind it. There was always, you know, he was always there, no matter what. No matter when, no matter who, it didn't matter. So, I just wanted to give my dedication to Rolly. I love you, brother. Thank you.
For those of you that don't know who I am, my name is Teresa Navarez. I'm also known as Speedy's wife or Sierra and Chuba's mom. And I don't usually come to the ball fields because some of you guys kind of pick on my hubby when he's umpiring a little. And I have a big mouth, so I was told I have to stay home. But I knew that Rolando always had his back, always. So I never had to worry about it. But I just kind of want to tell you a story about how I kind of first met Rolando. When he came into our lives, I think we were about 12 or 13 years old, and every woman at that point in time, every girl saw him and went, he was quite the ladies' man, as y'all know, and as this testifies to. And my little sister was here, like my husband said, we were celebrating our daughter's graduation, and my little sister was here from Texas. And Rolando kind of broke her heart a little bit. The first fun interaction we had, a group of us, and I don't know if anybody's told Mama this, but I'm gonna let the cat out of the bag for, you know, the past 25 years. About 15 of us piled into her maroon Toyota pickup truck, and we were at the top of Moon and, you know, Suicide Hill or whatever they called it. Thomas was driving. Where are you at, Thomas? Yep, you were driving. There was like 6 of us in the front cab, and Rolly and the rest of them were in the back cab, and we came down the truck going like 40, 45, hit the embankment, back of the truck comes up, and all you hear is Rolando cracking up. Never mind that we almost probably killed ourselves, but Rolando was just cracking up. So fast forward, you know, a little bit of time, and my little sister meets him. And of course, she's again. And so when we got the news, my sister and I walked outside, and she just kind of lost it as I did. And she said, that little shit. I have this much of my diary saying how he broke my heart in the 6th grade and I never got to tell him. And so we kind of laughed about that. And then you fast forward a little bit, probably 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I was actually coming to the softball field, and I saw Rolly, and you know his guys were playing, and he always kind of walked back and forth, and I kind of wondered, and it was kind of one of those things where I was trying to get to the field where Speedy was at, and I said, oh, I need to hug him, and you know, saying hi, whatever, and I forgot, but he always walks back and forth, and when he passed, I couldn't help but think, he watches all of us, and he's going to continue to watch all of us. You see him pacing back and forth, and you see his big old grin on his face, and he's Papa Bear. And he always would give me a big hug. My girls loved him, my whole family loved him. And it's really hard because I never hugged him that day. But I hope that he continues to watch over us. And so I'm going to take the Rolando Adame challenge, and I think all of you should take it too. Pay it forward. One love, one family. Every day, do something nice for someone. Every day, show Rolly how much we appreciated all he gave us. Every day, tell everyone how much you love them, because this is a testament. Tomorrow's never promised. Thank you.
My name's Eddie. I'm one of Rolly's coaches. His real coach. Coached him for years in G-Force. I got some G-Force brothers out there. Sure you need help, man. Can you come out here, please? Let's go. Super fly. Come out here for me, man. Any other G-Force out there?
Behind you.
It was hard for me just to sit there. Kind of emotional, so it was hard for me to want to say anything, but so I needed my brothers out here with me. First of all, I want to say I'm really proud of the Desert Dogs and what you guys have done. These guys used to follow us around as kids. Me too. So I'm really proud that they carried on this tradition of playing softball, and especially in the manner that they've done it. I'm really going to miss Rolly. He played with us for years. I will tell a story. Remember once the Tri-Cities Big Y tournament. Still have the picture. I almost brought it. I was looking at it all morning. These guys are amazing ball players. They never let me play. I don't know why they let me coach. Because every one of them had more talent than I did. I remember this time we had a chance to take first. We were up by 13. They actually let me play the last inning. I hit the ball. I actually got my first hit. So I batted 1,000. Rolly voted me All-Star. All these guys did. I still have that trophy. I'm going to miss him. I'm going to miss him. I'm up in here in the background. Kaka! I'm going to miss his Hawaiian shorts. I'm also going to miss his hugs. He's genuinely a good guy. Sad day.
To the family, to begin with, we lost
lost our brother. The man touched us all. Look at all the people around you. Y'all should be proud of your dad. He touched 1 million people, and here they are to prove it. My brother Kiko, love your brother. That guy's got the biggest heart that I know of. I got a big heart. These guys got all heart, big hearts and everything. But that man has a bigger heart than anybody I've ever known. Love, Rolly. We will miss him. Kiko.
Thank you, compadre. You all know me. I've only been playing half a century. Rolly was loved and loved all of you. He loved the game of softball. Look what he created. Look at all the people he brought together. For the love that he gave out, he received it back. I had the privilege, I don't know if you'll ever hear this again, but I got to change his diaper. But mijo, he's been in my life, and I was in his since he was a baby. And I love this gathering for him, and I'm so proud that he lived his life the way he did. Really hard for me to lose a son. But you know what? We'll be here. Rolly will be here on the softball fields. So come out and be with us when you want to see Rolly, come to the softball field. Rolly believed in one love and family with all his heart. And you are proof. You are proof to all of it. Thank you so much for loving my Rolly.
I don't speak in public, so forgive me here. I'm not a hugger. I'm not a lover. Well, there are a few women. Anyway, when we came on our team and stuff, you know, he wants to do that, all that little thing, and I'm not a hugger, so I turn to the side, so he goes by. And, you know, over time, he wore me out, and now when I meet all these guys, those guys, and even some of you that have never before even considered hugging, you know, you turn to the left or to the right to dodge it. Well, he taught me how to hug, and hopefully I get better at it. All right, thank you.
My name is Elias. I didn't know Rolly so much, only 3 years. He taught me how to bat, not to throw the bat, or that would have been an automatically out. And that's all I know of him. He just taught me how to play baseball and bat.
My name is Amanda, and Rolly used to invite me to come out here and play, and the first thing I noticed is he had the music blasting and he was dancing. And after the game I was like, you like to make a show, you're a drama king, just like Gabe said earlier. I always called him Drama King. And so I nicknamed him Happy Feet, like the movie with the penguin that's always dancing. And then as our relationship grew, we called each other my penguin. And he gave me this little pebble, like the movie, they give you a pebble. And it glowed in the dark. And I said, why this pebble? And he said, well, in the darkness, I want you to always be able to find my light, because that's the kind of person he is. And yeah, I want to be a better person just so I can see him again in heaven. And I think he inspired a lot of us to be better and be more like Rolly. Anyways, that's all.
Hi, my name is Gigi. I got the pleasure to work with Rolly at Sunmart with Rachel. I didn't have the softball One Love family, but at Sunmart we were a family. So I was really blessed to meet him. My mom introduced me to him, and she was like, "This man right here." I'll speak just like my mom would say, so forgive me if I offend any of you, but my mom was like, "He is so sexy." And I was just like, wow, he really is. And so I would just go to work and I would relieve Rolly, and I got to see him every morning. And he would be like, he would look at you in the side of his eye, like, yeah, like kind of checking you out, but not really. And so I would love to see him every morning. My mom meant a lot to Rolly. She passed away in 2010. And I know that when she passed away, I know Rolly was upset. You know, we talked about it a little bit. But before my mom passed away, there was this one night, she didn't go to work. She just like played hooky, so we thought, but she was going through a hard time in her life, and Rolly actually saved her life. She was doing her own stuff at home, and he came and he beat down her door, and he was like, Tina, 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 get up, get up, get up, and I'll never forget that, because at that moment, I took charge of my mom's life, and I made sure nobody else would do anything wrong to her. And so I just, the kind of relationship that they had was pretty, if you knew my mom, you would have to know that that relationship was very wild. And I know when I went and said goodbye to Rolly, I don't like to say goodbye. I want to remember him how I see him. But when I went to go say goodbye, I pulled on his beard and just rubbed my fingers all over his hair and got to touch him. And I love Rolly so much. He meant so much to me. You guys are so blessed to have you as your father, your friends, your family, and I'll forever miss him. And that's all.
Well, hello, I'm Curtis Brown, and played lots of softball with him. We did a Ellensburg tournament a couple of times, and that was pretty fun. And well, we also grew up quite a bit. We grew up together. He was, of course, Lower Basin Homes, and my brother and we were Upper Basin Homes, so we'd always kind of have that rival. And we also got to ride the bus to school and back. And well, one day Rolando and I, and Rolly, we arm wrestled one time. Yes, he got the better of me, but I did get bigger and a lot better, and it was a lot more challenging later on in life. And he had a challenge. But we'll all get through it. Thank you.
So we're going to finish the night with a poem from Shorty and Ronnie, his cousins, and Victoria. Victoria, where you at? These girls helped to organize this whole thing, so thank you. They also want me to let you guys know that we are going to let his birds go with the balloons. Show you girls.
Okay, so before we read our poem, our Aunt Sylvia wanted us to say some words on behalf of her. She wanted to say thank you to everyone for coming. Thank you for all the love that you have shown her family and all the love you have for Rolly. It really means a lot to her, and it is really helping ease all the pain that she has from her son passing. Like seeing everybody here and just all the love and support, it's really, really helping her, so thank you. She also wanted to tell everybody to live every day to the fullest and have no regrets. You never know what tomorrow's gonna bring. And she said, just love all your family, love everyone, and just take the time to tell people, especially your loved ones that you see every day, and sometimes you take them for granted. Just, a reminder like, I love you, I care about you. Thank you for, what you did today. Simple things in life. That's from my Aunt Sylvia. You never said goodbye. You never said I'm leaving. You never said goodbye. You were gone before I knew it, and only God knew why. A million times I needed you. A million times I cried. If love alone could have saved you, you never would have died. In life I loved you dearly. In death I love you still. In my heart you hold a place that no one could ever fill. It broke my heart to lose you, but you didn't go alone. For part of me went with you the day God took you home. We love you, Rolly. So there are balloons around, like on the fences and on the bats. If everyone could please get one balloon, we would like to release the balloons at the same time we release the bird. Rolly's bird.
Just a reminder, everybody's going to be on Desert Dog's YouTube page, so you can watch everything that happened tonight.